Well, guys, I'm in pursuit, just leaving Fort Yates, and 2 BIA vehicles came flying by me about 80 miles an hour. And if you can see that, I don't know if you can, but right there, threw a rock as they passed me and broke my window. Now I already had a little crack on one side, but this time, this cracked it right off the bat, threw a big old right there. So they're flying, they're hauling butt, they're going way down there. A lot that we're gonna see, a lot's gonna change that we're gonna witness here the next week, within the next few days, with the decision of the Army Corps of Engineers approving the right-of-way for the Dakota Access Pipeline. So we got a lot of work ahead of us that we're gonna witness happening. Thousands of people already responding to the call out to be shooting up here to Standing Rock. And so right now, you know, I'm predicting that there's going to be some resistance from the officer side, whether it's barricading the roads or, you know, really following Morton County's procedures is what they're going to start doing, is what we already starting to witness. So this is very interesting. The energy just completely shifted once that easement was granted. It's only been a few hours and it's been taking off really fast. So I left Fort Yates and I'm on my way back to camp, and the vibe has already changed. People texting and calling in, and you know, the messages flowing in about what they just witnessed on the video there inside the council chambers. And the looking at here is that, you know, it's in chaos here. Again, we're seeing gathering of many people worldwide chiming in on what's going on here at Standing Rock and staying tuned to the issues that's happening with the new administration. And so we're seeing it happen now with the granting of the easement that started from the commander-in-chief, the new commander-in-chief for the United States. And, you know, it's no secret that he's not an indigenous fan. He's not a tribal fan. But also, you know, the casino tribes that had to battle keeping him, you know, he believes that tribes have kept him from his revenue from the casinos. So the casinos will also be the next attack, is what we're going to also see. So relatives, stay tuned. I'll do everything I can to keep you updated on the road conditions right now. Are fair road conditions right now. It was snowing last night, but they're clear. We got a beautiful sunset, so the weather is not really bad. Last night it was blowing sideways, and it started to snow maybe only a few inches. I just got to interview a few tribal members and talk with them about their concerns about what was going on. And they shared with me that many tribal members in Cannonball supported the water protectors, opened up their homes, is where I'm at, as well as one of the tribal members there had opened up their home for me and my team. And we're there on private property as well. So it's been a blessing to see that we are wanted at the area to protect the water for the community. But we also have to make sure that we keep the people in solidarity. If you're ever coming this way, this is what you're going to see, is this Prairie Knights Casino. From here, it's another 5 miles to the Sacred Stones Camp and Osheti Camp, which has been the cleanup. So I'm going to pull up over here and fill up on gas and make sure I'm fully, got a full tank, and for what's going to happen in the next few days. You know, we might not be able to get out of camp, and the escalation on what's happening here on the decision today. So it's people coming in right now in mobilization, and it's really interesting to see where they're coming in from. California, Washington, the East Coast. So it's, what do you bring? You know, if you do come in, and I asked Phyllis that, you know, and one of the things our discussion was is self-reliance. you're going to bring in something that's got to be heated, like heaters, propane heaters. Make sure you bring those in, and wood stoves. You have to be self-reliant. Your food has to be able to withstand the cold, so you're going to have to change your food diet to jerky. You guys want to send me jerky and protein bars, P.O. Box 589 Fort Yates, North Dakota 58538, and dehydrated food. And we got water here, and we got to make sure our water stays warm as well. Those are the things that she recommended: dried berries, dried fruit, dried salmon, smoked salmon, jerky. Those are the things, because if they cut off the access, we're going to have to be self-reliant from the inside out. We seen, I showed you guys yesterday, the militarization had taken its right above Osheti camp now. So this is something very serious that's starting to happen with the decision today. And it is a clear violation of Indigenous rights. And we're going to make sure that, we do the best we can to hold ourselves accountable, to act accordingly while we're doing a demonstration of prayer as well. And to educate our communities on what is happening here, educate your circle on what is happening here with the Dakota Access Pipeline over desecrated sacred sites that they have desecrated through with the pipeline. And many of the sites will never be recovered. If you guys follow a lot of the states that will do this for agriculture, the desecrate sites for agriculture, you can Google that and see tribes, states that will do that, desecrate sites for agriculture, which would mean farming or anything in that nature. So there is no accountability, and in their mind is no evidence of sacred sites. And by the aerial footage I've been showing you guys with the Dakota Access Pipeline, you're seeing them desecrate those sacred sites all over that mountain. They're plowing in fields like football fields across, trying to level out areas where they think it's a sacred site, where the tribe had documented it's a sacred site. So it's one of the things that, do your homework. And Indigenous history is completely different than Western history. You're not going to learn any of this Western history in the schools. That's why it's so important to share with you guys what's going on here in North Dakota, Standing Rock, North Dakota, because this has also happened on our reservation in Paiute country in Nevada, with the Forest Service currently trying to cut down our pine nut trees and not consulting with the tribes and doing a proper environmental impact study, including the tribes. They do what's called consultation. If they just bring the message, that's consultation, and in their mind it's approval, which it is not. That's what we're seeing here, is a violation of that EIS. So we got to make sure that we hold them accountable. All you guys in DC, hold the promises of the forefathers of this country accountable for this generation. This generation needs to hold those promises up, uphold those promises. That is the most important thing, and we need to see as nation-to-nation relationship, from tribe to state to government to international. These treaties that are conducted between nations are at the international level. So educate yourself about that. Again, how do you do that? You can go to your local university, Native American Studies Department, contact Haskell Indian Nation, speak with a Native American professor there. You got the University of Kansas with the Indigenous Nations Studies Department. You've got Berkeley down there with their Native American Studies Department. You have also National Congress of American Indians. Go to the website, find out what tribe is in your area, and educate yourself. And I want to apologize ahead of time if you're not greeted very well, because not everyone has the healing from historical trauma. So be clear and concise. I would like to know more about the tribe in my area. Could you please help me understand more so you can better help support what's happening here in Standing Rock? This is one way that you can honor and be, if you're apologetic for the things that have happened throughout history, this is how you can be holding yourself accountable to understand what's happened to the indigenous people. Again, you can Google how many tribes in Nevada. There's 27 different bands and nations in Nevada. There's Navajo country. You've got Lakota country. You got, you know, Albuquerque with several of the pueblos around the area. So, you know, Arizona, you got many of the tribes down there. Florida, you got tribes, 6 nations down to New York. You can go there and ask them, and they'll give you a history lesson. It may not be all at once, but it'll definitely help you understand about the indigenous issues and the promises that aren't in the history books. So important that you educate yourself on what we are witnessing today. This is what we are witnessing with the indigenous people and the violations that's happening here, the human rights violations that are happening here, the First Amendment with the Native journalist that was just arrested a few days ago, as well as myself. Amy Goodman had a little bit more clout and publicity, so she was able to get off, which I went to jail, you know, for the same thing. We were standing at the court. When she was there, I was there. I still have the charge. I'd like to see where that's going and look at support, more support from Amy Goodman to put pressure on them. And my charges were less than her charges, and I still have not been to court. It's been almost 6 months. I have not been to court. So we're seeing violations here with a tactical violations of the due process that are happening here in the court system. All right, relatives, I'm gonna get gas, make sure I get everything that I need. My gut feeling is that they're gonna barricade the front, and so we need to be self-reliant. And we've already seen them do that a few days when Croche on the Last Child camp. And I gotta say this many times: who is their negotiator? Well, they're inciting a riot by fully coming militarized, and they can send some Kirschmeyer himself. If he's got a pair, he can walk in and say, you know what, guys, I'm going to do this the right way. Hey, guys, we don't want to make a mass arrest here. We know you're praying. We know this is a demonstration of prayer. We know there's water protectors down here. Would you guys, we're going to let you finish your prayer. And if you don't come off in a certain amount of time, then I'm sorry, but we're going to have to come in. That's what he could do. But he's not going to do that. He has to justify his budget as well as the governor for the $8 million in cost spendings that they're put in for requests for more money to come back to the state. We're also looking at, you know, with this barricade up as well, that's cost the tribe economic development. It costs emergency services to go all the way around, the ambulance to go all the way around on Highway 6. Life or death, those few minutes are. So this is very important that Morton County did take down that barricade to do a raid. They took down the barricade to do a raid, but they didn't take the barricade down for the ambulance services that come through. That needs to be, they need to be held accountable for that. These are just the facts, you guys. I'm just sharing with you the facts. And I want to also thank the youth of Bismarck for reaching out to me, and I want you guys to continue to do your homework, the high schools over there in Bismarck and Mandan, and continue to share in your classroom and your community on what you're witnessing here. I met several students that were actually down here at the camp for themselves, and they were witnessing what was going on down here. So that's very important, that that next generation doesn't carry on the hurt and the racism from this generation that we're seeing on the Morton County side. This generation is what we're witnessing, is that high level of tension. And you know, you got one side that's praying for them, and we're not seeing it come from the other side. You can include spirituality into your daily routine, guys. Again, we're going to pray for your water. We're going to pray for you and the families, that you know that your heart be touched in a good way. And it can be a part of the political system, is that spirituality as well. It's a power in place. It's also can be a spiritual assessment that can be included into politics. So these things are what we're seeing here happen. We're going to continue to stay in prayer, share with you what's going on, and it's currently getting really cold. When you come here, don't come with knitted hats. You come like you're going skiing. You come like you're going to the Arctic, because that's how cold it is. You know, until yesterday was minus 10 last night, and we're getting that cold again. So you got to come self-reliant, and also be ready to take care of yourself and contribute to the community. So if you're bringing a kitchen, be very careful on what you bring and the hygiene things that you bring, and definitely bring a large heater. That is what's important. Many blessings, relatives. I'll keep you guys updated as we're moving along, and saying to this in a good way, in a good way. Aho. The right of way for the Dakota Access Pipeline. So we got a lot of work ahead of us that we're going to witness happening. Thousands of people already responding to the call out to be shooting up here to Standing Rock. And so right now, you know, I'm predicting that there's going to be some resistance from the officer side, whether it's barricading the roads or, you know, really following Morton County's my window. Now I already had a little crack on one side, but this time this cracked it right off the bat through a big old right there. So they're flying, they're hauling butt, they're going way down there. A lot that we're going to see, a lot's going to change that we're going to witness here the next week, within the next few days, with the decision of the Army Corps of Engineers approving Well, guys, I'm in pursuit, just leaving Fort Yates, and 2 BIA vehicles came flying by me about 80 miles an hour. And if you can see that, I don't know if you can, well, right there, through a rock as they passed me. Procedures is what they're going to start doing, is what we already starting to witness. So this is very interesting. The energy just completely shifted once that easement was granted. It's only been a few hours and it's been taking off really fast. So I left Fort Yates and I'm on my way back to camp, and